How well do you know Kenzie, Dominic, and Davion?
So I started being actual friends with Kenzie senior year because we both did homecoming court together. I know she had POTS disorder. I think that's what it's called, where you pass out. I know she had POTS disorder. I think that's what it's called, where you pass out.
A medical emergency is being blamed for a pile-up crash.
Oh, now to a dramatic crash caught on camera in New Jersey. An 88-year-old driver losing control of a car after she had some kind of medical emergency. You can see it blow right through an intersection in Garfield, running over the foot of a man who was on his way to work.
Second later, the driver of this white Lexus sedan speeds by, jumping the curb onto the sidewalk. The driver of this white Lexus sedan.
Toyota has a problem. The cause of those so-called runaway Toyotas, cars taking off on their own up to 100 miles an hour, was still under active investigation and not resolved as Toyota had suggested.
The trouble is, in Toyota vehicles like this 2009 Tacoma pickup truck, the gas pedal can get tangled up in the floor mat, causing the vehicle to speed up. Even if the driver pumps the brakes, it's not enough to stop.
5 deaths have been blamed on this unintended acceleration, and the recall was prompted by a crash outside San Diego last summer that killed 4 family members.
Our accelerator's stuck. Our accelerator's stuck.
A medical emergency is being blamed for a pile-up crash.
Recording.
Let me just get this. It is Thursday. It is 8/11 at 10. Okay. Paul, what is your social? And we'll redact that from the record, so don't worry.
If I try really hard,
I'll confirm it. All right. And Mom, what's your name?
Carolyn Burlinghouse.
And Dad?
Ron.
So, I'm sure you're aware. Got my card that I'm going to give you, but we're here piecing together what happened that led to the tragic accident that caused the death of Davion and Dominic. Now, we are going to ask some questions about the events that preceded the accident. In good faith, I do have to let you know that we downloaded Mackenzie's cell phone. We're in the process of downloading the content of Davion's and Dominic's cell phones. Okay, so all the chit chat, even that doesn't directly include you, your name indirectly came up in those chat messages. Okay, and so we just wanted to talk basically about what had happened at the party. Now, I know you can't babysit everyone at your house. We realize that, both of us do, right? And so we don't expect you to have had constant contact, but as somebody who hosts a party, you should have a general feel, like, is there tension? Are there some people who are not necessarily getting along? You know, was something said or done that kind of made you think? Things of that sort. It is very critical that you're honest with me. Again, I'm not threatening you or charging you with anything, but if you're lying and it comes up through the phone records that there were text messages or social media indicating otherwise, the prosecutor could potentially, subpoena you if we do go to trial. if there is a criminal issue. So we're investigating both avenues. We're investigating the crash itself, the physical car crash, and we're also looking at possibly if there's any type of culpability or any type of legal, issues that pertain to that accident. You're not a suspect. You are just here as a person who had hosted the party, and your house was the last place they were at. So can you confirm where you live for me, please?
I live in.
So, Mom and Dad, you were out of town, I believe?
Yes.
Can you tell me where you were?
We were in Seneca Falls, New York.
Cool. What happened?
All right. So I was at work from 5 to 10, and then my car broke down then, so I couldn't get home until way later. So my coworker Julia Spicer, she drove me back to my house at around 10:30. So it was already pretty late. I was pretty tired. Most of us were pretty tired. Kind of didn't really want to hang out that night, but my parents weren't home, so we were going to anyway. And I had 6 people over, so in my opinion, that was not a party. There was no party activities going on because I don't have enough friends to throw a banger, I'm going to be honest. So at around 11, Rosie, Nina, and Landon show up together. They show up first because Rosie lives nearby, so she picked them up. So they showed up. And then Kenzie, Dom, and Davion, they were late. They were late to coming here. They came at around midnight, maybe somewhere around that time, because they were already at a grad party. I tried to figure out what grad party it was. I don't know. But they were already there. They weren't there for long. I don't know what they did there, but they weren't there for long. They got at my house at around midnight. We chilled there for a while, and then around like 1 a.m., I wanted to call it a night because my car broke down. Wasn't having much of a good night, obviously. And right before I went to sleep, Kenzie said, "You should go to sleep because I'm probably going to go to sleep too." So I was like, okay, that's not that bad. So then I go upstairs at around 1. They're still up and they're still watching. I remember hearing South Park playing really loudly. And then I went downstairs again at 2, 3 a.m. to pee, sometime like that. And I saw Kenzie asleep on my couch in my front room when I saw that. And they were watching cartoons when I went down, and I went back upstairs and I went back to sleep.
Okay. So 1 a.m. you just went to bed and all 5 remained downstairs?
Yeah, they just remained downstairs.
Okay. And then what time did you wake up?
Wake up quite late, like 10 a.m.
So
maybe.
After the crash had happened?
Yeah, and I woke up to the call.
Which call?
I woke up to the call. Rosie told me that.
Oh, so Rosie found out?
Yeah.
Okay. So Rosie told you. All right. So, okay. Yeah, see, they said party, 6 people. I mean, it's a nice little get-together. So, let's start with, how well do you know Kenzie, Dominic, and Davion?
So I started being actual friends with Kenzie senior year because we both did homecoming court together, and I thought if I was gonna win homecoming king, she'll win queen with me. We didn't win, so don't worry.
Oh, hey.
But yeah, she made me actually confident in myself that year. So yeah, that's when we kind of became friends. I was never really friends with Dom, but like she could bring her boyfriend anywhere. I don't mind. And then Davion, you probably know this, Davion lived with them, so they could bring Davion. Everyone loves Davion too.
Okay. So, so your relationship with Davion is through them, like you are not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Through them.
So, how were they that night when they got there? What was the general theme like?
I mean, it was pretty late. We were pretty tired. They didn't really seem like they didn't. I mean, it wasn't I don't know, it just wasn't like, let's throw a banger, let's do any, like, it just wasn't really much like that. We just wanted to watch some cartoons. I know Kenzie was tired. That is one thing. Everyone was really tired. It was really late. But yeah, I don't think there was any fighting or anything like that going on at all. Or at least that's what I saw.
Okay. So let's talk about some possible drugs that came up in the text messages. Do you use?
We did smoke weed.
Okay. What about shrooms?
We discussed that, but we did not do that night.
Okay. Did you know if Mackenzie had any kind of drugs on her, or Dominic, that they brought to your house?
Dom did.
Did?
Dom definitely did.
Okay. Do you know what?
I do not know.
Okay. How do you know that he did?
I just know that that's who Dom is, and I know he would keep that with him.
Did you see anything? Did you smell anything?
No, I would not want them to stink up my house.
Okay, I got you. How close are you with Rosie?
She's my best friend.
Your best friend? Okay. So, in looking at some of the cell phone text messages, this is one page that I thought was necessary that we got off of, that kind of lists you, because we can basically type in your name and anything that pertains to you, or your address or your phone number would come up. And so, she says here, and I just looked through July about texts between her and that lists you. So even her and her friends, and if your name comes up. So the eve of the crash at 10:28 p.m., she says she receives a text from one of the people at the party saying, so we want $40 worth of bud, and Baba wants 3, and I want 2.5. Nina wants 1.5. Paul wants 2.5. So we're talking about marijuana here, okay? But if we go back earlier, okay, she talks about grams. Bring enough shrooms for all of us. Paul and Dave, LMFAO, we should have the cash, and I have some. Paul said he's going to take under a gram. A gram of what?
Yeah, we discussed that if we were going to do shrooms,
Okay.
but we did not end up doing them.
Do you know if after
way
you
too late.
went to bed, they did shrooms?
I don't know in that case.
Okay. And like I said, my concern, it's not accusing you of anything. It's just, well, did they do something and then they got on the road?
I understand.
Because as you've already heard, you're on social media, right? And some of the friends, they've posted the speed limit on Progress. Did you see that? Were you made aware of it? Our department said that the speed was a factor. And if you know Progress, which is off of Pearl, it's 25. On public record, okay, on the app that Tyler and some of the Davion's friends have shared with the families and with the public, we have her going 90. Okay.
Wow, that road is bumpy.
But leaving your house, the speed limit was very reasonable. Okay, so that's what we're trying to find out. You know, this is why it's very critical that when you woke up in the morning, did you notice anything that was left behind in the house after everybody left? I'm assuming they were gone when you woke up.
No, they left nothing. They took everything.
They took everything. Nothing in the trash.
No,
And
even
I checked.
You
trash.
checked?
Rosie brought her coloring books that night, and we were playing with her coloring books. So that's the party, if you want to know. But we were playing with coloring books, and it was a mess when I went upstairs, but it was sparkling clean. So they definitely.
Were they arguing at all?
No arguing. No.
How are Dom and Kenzie in public? Are they like PDA, you know, holding hands all over each other, or are they like, you know,
Well,
somebody's hanging out with this crowd and somebody's hanging out, and they occasionally come across?
Well, I do know that, you know, there were some, I don't know who the people are, but I do know that Dom has cheated on Kenzie multiple times, and Dom didn't let Kenzie be friends with some people. I also know that. So that is one thing. But like from that night, I didn't see anything. They are very, they're kind of like an evil duo, those two. So they kind of are Cosmo and Wanda together. So I don't know. I don't know what that relationship is like.
So have you ever heard of any of them talking about taking their own lives?
No, they weren't like that.
What about through the rumor mill? The friends?
I'm sorry?
The rumor mill. The
social
friends.
media.
The social media, or, you know, Rosie might be like, hey, Paul, can you believe she said this or he said that?
Dom told Kenzie once that he wouldn't make it past 21. But that was probably just because he kind of lived stupid anyways. So that could be anything. But he definitely, no one ever showed any signs like that.
Have you ever been a passenger in Mackenzie's car while she was driving?
I've refused a ride from Kenzie because
Why would
she's
you
a
do
bad
that?
driver. She's
Explain
a terrible
that
driver.
to me, please. What do you mean by bad driver?
I always knew she would get in fights, like her neighbor, or she got in her fight with her neighbor about zooming past the stop sign. One time at the carnival, she was gonna drive me home, but I was like, no.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I just said, no, I'm good. Yeah, I just didn't.
Have you ever seen her drive? Like, you know, like, oh gosh, look, that's Kenzie right there. Or is it just
probably leaving school? Probably seen
school?
her zipping through Pro Road, probably, but can't 100% say.
So why wouldn't you drive with her?
I'm sorry?
Why would you ever be a passenger with her? Were you in fear?
I've never been a passenger.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you have gotten in the car with her? Were you afraid?
Yeah, I would just say not stupid. Just not gonna go into a situation I wouldn't want.
Do you know anybody who's ever been a passenger with her who's like, oh my gosh, you know?
Um,
Paul, can you believe I just hitched a ride?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
I saw death right in front of me.
Yeah, Rosie was like, "Don't go in the car with Kenzie. Like, that's not a good driver."
Jason?
Yeah, I have a few. Okay. Where do you work?
I work at 2 places.
Where were you that night, 5 to 10?
I was at.
Did you invite them over, or did Rosie invite them, or did Rosie say we're hanging out? How did Kenzie and Dom and
I would say
how did that?
I would say Rosie was like, "Can Kenzie, Dom, and Davion come?" And
She
said,
was already there, so her and Kenzie must have been talking.
Yeah, so I said, "Yeah, of course they can come."
Okay. How's your relationship with Dom aside from Kenzie? Obviously, you and Kenzie are friends. You were on the homecoming court together. She made you feel confident. What was it, freshman year?
Senior year.
Senior year. So you guys had a relationship, a
Yeah.
friend relationship. Was it ever more than that?
Me and Kenzie?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, just friends. So if Dom was a jealous person, how did he feel? How were you and Dom?
Well, he knows I'm gay, so
Okay.
he's, you know,
Okay,
he's
so
nice.
he's not worried.
So.
So Dom, that answered that. The night when you guys were talking about shrooms, how many times have you done shrooms before?
I had done it only once before.
Only once before. Good experience or bad experience? Bad. You were considering it that night. Why?
Just my parents weren't home. Just, you know, not enough people to drink, but small enough, you know, to do something like that. But we never really did.
Have you been at parties with these people prior to this? So you didn't have it was just like 6 or 7 of you that night. Have you been at parties with them prior to?
Funny story, actually. We went to one party that got busted 8 minutes after we showed up. So we literally didn't do anything. We just said hi, and then we had to go. So other than that, I've never been to a party with them. Sorry.
Are you friends with Kenzie on Snapchat?
Kenzie, yes.
Are you friends with Kenzie on Instagram?
If her Instagram account is still up.
It is.
Okay.
She made it private after the
Are you friends with Kenzie on TikTok?
Probably.
Okay.
I can't 100%.
Have you, in general, not just that night, any night, seen stories or snaps or TikToks of Kenzie and or Dom using?
She's probably posted some shit like that sometime. She probably has. But
So definitely smoking the weed.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely smoking weed. She loved weed.
She loved the weed.
That's her nickname on there.
Yeah, her and Dom don't seem to hide their views very much. They're pretty open about it, right? So if one or both of them posted a video, or, I mean, when they post snaps, you see them. It pops up on your phone. They're your friend. If they post a TikTok, you can see that, right? So if they were using, you would see that. Have you seen that?
No. I've
never seen that.
Now that I think about it, like I feel like they're a little smarter in posting that stuff. I mean, like, I don't see it as much as maybe you guys are envisioning it, but like, I've never seen her do. I feel like I've heard that she's done, but I've never seen her.
Never seen it. Never.
I've never witnessed.
Okay. Have you did shrooms only one time?
Yes.
Were they around when you did them?
Were they around? Yes.
They were. Did you get them from them?
From Dom, yes.
From Dom. Dom's handed them directly to you.
To Rosie.
To Rosie, and Rosie handed you yours. Okay.
So, was there any alcohol?
No, no drinking.
And did you see them smoking weed that night?
Yeah, I did.
Both Kenzie and Dom?
No, Kenzie did not smoke that night.
Did not smoke?
Yeah, because she was also she was also going to go to sleep, so she did not smoke. At least when I was awake, I did not see her smoke.
Okay. So up until 1 a.m., how positive are you?
I'm not going to guarantee 100%.
Can I just say something? You and Kenzie are friends. You and Rosie are friends. Rosie and Kenzie are friends. Dom is Dom. We'll leave him out of this for now. You're probably right now in the back of your mind thinking, I'm worried about getting people in trouble. You're not.
No.
Not a worry of yours.
It's got to happen. That's what Dom and Davion want.
So
Just
you're
the
not.
truth to come out.
Okay. So you're not protecting Kenzie by saying you're not sure.
There's no protection.
Okay.
She's whatever trouble she's in it.
So we've established, the reason Jason's asking this is we have established, we know Kenzie smokes weed.
Yes.
Okay. And part of what we're looking at for the crash is, was she impaired?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So even if with the blood samples that we were able to obtain, well, she constantly smokes weed, there's going to be weed in her system, right?
Yeah.
And so the question is, we were trying to narrow down possibility of impairment at the party. Like, well, she wasn't drinking, what all did she do? The weed, if she's a regular weed smoker, which, believe me, it's on social media, so I'm not telling you here something or trying to bluff you, you already know that. They're very public about it, so we already know it's in her system.
Yeah.
But the question becomes that's why I'm asking you, like, when you woke up, did you see anything that would, like, I think they might have smoked, but did you, when you woke up, did it smell like weed in the house?
No. Very respectful friends.
Okay. So they would go outside?
Yeah.
Go outside.
Okay. And no, like, bits of a blunt outside?
No.
Okay.
Do you guys have cameras outside? No.
Do you know what backwoods are? Just curious. Backwoods.
Like
what Shirelles are blunt in.
Yeah, backwood.
Yeah.
The Khalid song would mention a backwood.
Okay. She talks about it all the time. So I was curious. Do you know did Dom or Kenzie ever talk about where the shrooms came from?
No, they would never.
They would never.
Top secret information.
Okay.
We would never have.
I figured.
Go ahead.
How well did you only know Dom through Kenzie?
Yeah.
You never had a friendship with Dom on your own?
Never.
He's older, a little
He's
bit older
older.
than you. Had you ever been to his house?
I have, yes.
You have. So you know his brother Chris?
I don't know his brother.
Don't know his brother Chris. Okay.
Did you ever see him with a gun?
I know he had them. I never saw them.
Right. We know. We know there's a connection to a gun. Okay, and my question is, that night, did anything about a gun come out?
No, I would be calling you. I would be the second.
And do you guys have a backyard? Okay, it's like a garden type area. Anything new? Does it look like maybe somebody's hid something in there, gun wise? Who does yard work at home?
We have someone high, tall, and lawn care.
Lawn care?
Oh, Hightower does your lawn?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, do me a favor. When you go home, just kind of look through your garden. Just rule
new
it out.
dirt, overturned dirt, or mulch.
We're asking questions because we know something that we can't tell you, and so just as a favor, just kind of look through it.
Okay.
If you don't find anything, you don't even need to call me. But
we
if
have little kids that we babysit that we played in the backyard the past couple of days. We didn't notice anything, but I'll look.
We weren't
for-
looking.
Right, yeah. Like, take a look. If you see something, just call me. If you don't see anything, don't even call me back. Don't
Sure,
worry about
if I see
it. But
something,
like I
I'll call.
said, we're asking because, we have very strong indication for something, and it is scary. I mean, so Kenzie, when you guys were doing your senior year and prom and all that good stuff, did she ever confide in you? Like, and I don't want to be inappropriate here, but if you're gay and she trusts you, like you're not trying to, ruin her relationship, she might tell you stuff about maybe her relationship with Dom, maybe some of her struggles, and we're not trying to expose her secrets, but in that car that day there were 3 people. 2 are dead who can't tell us, and so and she's not talking to us, right? Her lawyer's not going to let her talk to the police. Fifth Amendment, that's your constitutional right. You don't have to talk to the police. So she's not breaking the law by not talking. She's actually protecting herself. And so we have to piece everything together based on what the friends are saying.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking, did she ever confide in you? Did she ever vent to you?
Rosie is the person to ask for that question. She didn't confide in me ever.
Okay. Did you ever sense, when she would hang out with you, she's scared of something, she was, any mental issues like depression, she talked about, she hated life, anything
I know
like
she
that.
had POTS disorder. I think that's what it's called, where you pass out. I know that's what her mom was talking about.
When did mom talk about that?
When I visited her in the hospital.
So after.
How many times have you talked to Kenzie since the accident?
I only got to see her once.
You got to see her once?
Yeah.
What was she like?
Not happy in the hospital bed.
I mean, my takeaway from having visited her twice was she didn't seem to care too much that she killed her boyfriend, another guy. Did you get the same feelings?
When I walked in, she was broken. She was absolutely devastated. And she wouldn't shut up about that. Like, she would only talk about that. So that really concerns me, that she would be very different.
And it could have been that we were law enforcement. Right. You're her friend, so she was probably nervous to talk to us, or so that makes sense.
I mean, everything, all these questions, all our notes, all the reports, all the cameras, all this will come out eventually, and that's public record, so you'll see how she reacted.
Who was in the room when you visited with her?
A lot of people. Some I didn't know.
Okay. Friends and family?
Yeah.
Okay. She didn't ask you to say anything? Did she ask you about talking to us? Mm-hmm. None of that came up.
Well, they actually said to not talk to you guys out.
Who said that?
Her mom did.
Interesting. Okay. Have you talked to Rosie about this? Obviously you have.
Yeah.
What's Rosie's take on it? Did Rosie tell you not to talk to us?
No, Rosie wants to talk to you guys also.
Okay.
Going 90 miles an hour is a very purposeful act. A car does not go, even if you pass out, a car is not going to go 90, not in a 25. Have you ever driven down Progress?
Yes.
You should, on your way home, swing by.
Oh, it's a bumpy road. You're
And
going
there's some
15.
curves,
Yeah, and you're
curves.
like,
Okay, so
it's a bumpy scene.
we're, you know, and that's, you know, this is all speculation, but at this point, you know, yeah, Kenzie, if you're on social media, did you see Kenzie talking with this modeling company after the crash, after we give her her phone back?
I saw people talking about that.
Yeah, what did you see?
Just people really enraged
Enraged about what?
that she was talking to the modeling company.
Yeah, did you see how happy her mom was that that the modeling company is trying to help her plan her future? She just killed her boyfriend and another kid with a very bright future. She killed 2 people. And the reaction is, I'm worried about my modeling career instead of, that's what I'm saying, weigh all that as, you know, as the time comes, you know, that people can put on a really good show about how devastated they are, but then you look at their social media and you're back talking about your career and your future plans. If I kill my friends or if I'm responsible for the death of somebody, it's devastating, you know, and I hope you never ever have to experience that. But the reaction that you saw and that we saw is something that is intriguing. But
Kind of a little bit away from the. Are you kind of wrapping it up?
yeah, we're done.
Besides shrooms, have you used any other drugs?
No.
Ever curious to?
No, my family has a history of schizophrenia, so
Well, then shrooms are not a good one to use to dabble with.
it would be done for all of them, basically.
Those are kind of my thing.
You?
He's a DEA agent
Oh, okay.
or task force officer.
So, a concern, I mean, obviously, it's all I've dealt with for like 8 years now. You seem like a really good kid.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Very polite, well-spoken, honest. I think mom and dad have done a pretty good job with you. I think you may have some friends that you should be real cautious about. And I think everyone says weed's not a gateway drug, shrooms, this and that. Be careful.
Got a long life to live.
Don't need it.
Yeah, thanks for that, because he's heading to college.
He's heading
with
to
a lot more
Kent, and
freedom
he's
without
very
parents.
A lot more freedom,
nervous.
and there's going to be a lot of drugs around.
I went to Kent.
A lot of drugs. There is going to be, and these pills that everyone says, oh yeah, they're
Don't
all
touch it.
fake. They are fentanyl, and they will kill you. It's all I've been dealing with. That's terrible.
Yeah, it seems like that's
Don't
always
need
in the
it.
news.
Kent is a great place. It's an awesome school. I loved every second
I
of
think
it.
he's
I'm
got-
excited.
Good to hear that.
He's got a
I loved
scholarship too.
Oh,
Almost
very
all
good.
tuition.
Congratulations. I mean, I'm telling you, Kent's a beautiful town.
Here's the thing. Have fun.
Be careful.
Have fun. It's going to be the best 4 years of your life. I would do almost anything to go back to those 4 years.
Me too.
But do not lose those values and common sense. And when you think you're in a situation that it's telling you something,
Listen to your gut.
what would they say?
Yeah.
Think back to this incident, the crazy shit that happens when we do things, right? And you're going to find your way as an adult.
Yeah.
There's going to be alcohol. There's going to be weed. And is weed the worst thing in the world? I don't know. Not for me. I'm a cancer survivor. I would have loved to benefit from it. Sure. I couldn't. I wasn't allowed because I was a law enforcement. So that's a debate for another day. But when you start getting into the psychedelics, now you're tiptoeing on something that can lead to other things, right? And lead to just, I mean, you know how you felt. You feel weird. You don't have a lot of control. So just be careful. Your parents, I'm a parent. I don't want to see something happen to a good kid. Not that anything bad should happen to anyone, But you know, there are kids like Dom that walk their own path.
It was gonna catch up to him.
Right.
Eventually.
He was either going to prison or where he was going.
Either way, yeah.
Okay. Kenzie,
Sure.
Sure.
Neither here
she
nor
has
there.
her own demons.
Even if this didn't happen, yeah.
You don't walk in that same crowd. We can tell.
Thank you.
So just please be careful. Listen to that voice in your head. Peer pressure. The people you're friends with right now, you won't talk to in 30 years.
And it's truth.
And honestly,
Of all the people you're friends with in college, you might have 5 you stay in touch with. Right? I have 4 or 5.
Not for the rest of your life.
Few teammates, maybe, right? So we go through these sections. We have our middle school friends. We have our high school friends. Oh my God, I'll be friends with you forever. I talk to 3 high school friends twice a year, right? Then we have our college friends, and oh my God, we're adults now. We're having the best time around. You go through these transitions. So be a leader, not a follower. Do your thing. Do what's best for you. And just stay on that path, okay?
so
I tried to tell him yesterday, college, even with alcohol, someone will be drinking whiskey, either you or someone else, and people be cheering them on, and it might be fun until someone's going to die from that, or be.
It happens, and it's different from mom and dad.
Right.
It's different.
Kent is a party school. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
I went there. I was on a 5-year plan, but nevertheless,
Sure.
it's a good time.
5 years of party.
So all I'm saying is just,
And you're supposed to have fun.
Yeah, have a good time.
Don't
Just
be afraid of it.
make the right decisions, you know?
Just be careful and listen to that voice in your head. We all have it. Some of us listen to it. Some of us ignore it.
So here's what's going to happen from here. I got to document this interview we had, the conversation. You brought up some very good points that we want to follow up on, like the driving and things of that sort. My advice to you is not to discuss this with anyone. If you choose to, that's your decision. Once we don't decide if Mackenzie gets charged with anything or if this goes to court. That's the prosecutor's decision. So once we finish up, we're going to talk to some other friends, and once we talk to everyone, then we're going to have a case ready for the prosecutor to look at. You could be called to court. Okay, I want you to be prepared. Okay, now when you woke up to take a piss at 2 a.m. ish, all right, was anybody else awake or was everybody asleep? Do you remember?
Yeah, everyone else was awake. Kenzie was the only one asleep. They were all just watching cartoons.
Okay, all right.
South Park.
You didn't smell marijuana at that time?
No.
Okay.
Hey, that's a wrap for us. This is my card. Keep it.
Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah.
I mean, anything we might or might not be able to answer, but at least fire away if you have any questions or concerns.
I have no question. I think we're okay, because we did see a lawyer prior to this, just,
Yeah.
being our house, I was a little panicky
Sure,
about.
you should be. That brings up another great point, which we should have touched on. We've all done it. Now, granted, I did it 30 years ago, right? Much older, so back then it was just beer and alcohol. Maybe a little marijuana. These days, they're out of control. At any point when you had people over and they were talking about getting shrooms and stuff, you're a kid, right? You're 18 now, so you're legally an adult, but you're still a kid. Did you ever think or even know to think about the liability you put on them?
It's your house,
right?
Yeah, he realizes it.
Now,
Yeah, he
right?
realizes it.
These are the things kids don't think about, right? You're going away to school, totally different situation, but I don't know that this situation would even ever happen again. But if they go on vacation and hey, house sit, things to think about.
Yeah.
Right.
We usually do every anniversary in July. For 2
Yeah,
days.
There you go.
Yeah, we
so hey, come
every
home,
July we go somewhere.
come home
without
from
them.
school and house sit. You got pets. You're gonna take care of the
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
We have cats.
You're gonna come home for the summer. You're gonna have college friends. Please be careful. If you have a party, you take their keys, hide them. You
That's a good
stay
idea.
there. If you want to party in my house, I take your keys and I hide them. If you don't like that, see ya.
Or party at their place and Uber.
Right.
This sounds very crazy, but we both work patrol, mostly on night shift, and we've had people call and say, "Hey, I don't have money for an Uber. Can I get a cop to give me a ride home from a party? And you know what? Absolutely would be more than happy to pick up your stoned or drunk ass, take you home without any trouble. Be like, here, courtesy ride, than you driving and yourself or killing somebody else. You know
That's
what I mean?
the benefits of living in a community like Strong's.
Right.
You call Cleveland police, they would laugh at you.
Right. Here, we would show up.
I taught in Cleveland, so I know.
We'll give you a ride. We'll get you anywhere you need to go. But
where at?
55th and Quincy.
Ooh.
I'm hardcore.
That's my hood.
That is like
There's definitely guns going around.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had guns go off and having to get the kids in the building.
That's my hood. So
But I loved it. The kids are really.
out of every class, what do you get? Like 2 or 3 that have a chance?
I'm gonna turn this off since we're talking.
I taught kids.